DVDs, more of them, collection, that sort of stuff. Ahoy everybody, and welcome to the next part of my look at my DVD collection. Previous parts available on the playlist. Let's get cracking, bloody blah. So first up we have If Only. This is a British comedy, I suppose it's, yeah. Reason for purchase is Lena Headey, who's one of my favourite actresses, and I've got practically everything she's done. Douglas Henschel, who is an actor I don't rate at all. He's an out-of-work actor. He's desperate to stop Lena, who's his ex, marrying somebody else. Through film magicness, he gets a chance to go back in time and save his relationship. So he goes back, but when he's there, he also meets Penelope Cruz, so things go a different way, and it's alright, but it would be better if somebody else was playing Douglas Henschel's character, in my opinion. Okay, I think this is the first one of these I've shown. This is Whodunit, which is a TV series, an ITV series from the 70s. This is the 5th series. As you can see, it's hosted by John Pertwee. It's a series where each week is a different mystery, usually either a murder or a theft. A scene is played out, and then a panel of celebrities, and in some cases members of the public, depending on the series, then gets the opportunity to quiz the participants in the scene who are in character to try and work out who done it. Bit like Cluedo, if you remember the Cluedo TV series, based on obviously on a board game, but this was a precursor to it. It's always enjoyable. Some of them are better than others, but I've got them all. I think it's 6 series. I haven't watched the 6th one yet, but I've certainly watched the first 5. So very enjoyable, which is why I carried on collecting them. But yeah, that's the 5th series of Whodunit. This is a film I really like. This is Robert Rodriguez's The Faculty. Just brilliant young cast. Clea Duvall, Laura Harris, Josh Hartnett, Elijah Wood. Name's gone completely blank. Jordana Brewster. And then in the adult cast, you got Famke Janssen and Robert Patrick and Jon Stewart. It's about a school faculty where the teachers are being taken over by aliens, basically. But it's just really, really good. Highly recommended. Next, this is a Dutch DVD. This is The Fine Art of Love. My reason for purchase of this is because it stars a young Natalia Tenner. It's based on Mein Haha, the novel by Frank Wedekind, which has actually been filmed in various forms 3 or 4 times. It's one people like making films of. It's set in an all-girls school. It's in Dutch on my back, so I can't read that. And things happen. Mystery and intrigue, and I want to say murder, but I might be misremembering that there's murder in it. Yeah, I mean, it's a good film and it was enjoyable and I liked it. I'm just struggling with the plot. But yeah, Fine Art of Love. This is Baby Love, which is a 1968 British film. A young Linda Hayden plays Baby, who... No, she's not. Doesn't play Baby at all. Sorry, she plays Lucci. I don't know. In my head, I had it. Her character's name was Baby, but it's not. Who is orphaned when her mum kills herself, so she goes to live with one of her mother's exes, who's a doctor, with him and his family, and she's her sexuality is burdening. What's the word I'm looking for? Burgeoning? Doesn't sound right, but I want to say burgeoning. Is developing, and she uses her body to get what she wants with all the family members, but not in a. It's not overly. I mean, you know, there's a bit of that in it, but it's not overly. But yeah, really good film and brilliant performance by Linda Hayden. This was the TV series Camelot, which was written by Chris Chibnall before Broadchurch, obviously. Sort of after he did his episodes of Doctor Who, where he was just a writer, he did this, then he did Broadchurch, and now obviously he's running Doctor Who again. So this obviously is based on King Arthur, who's played by Jamie Campbell-Bower. Ava Green is Morgan, who's basically Morgana, who's the evil witch type character trying to take over the kingdom. Merlin's played by Joseph Fiennes, so it's not the old man with a beard type, it's more actiony type, clever type magician. Tamsin Edgerton is the love interest. Claire Forlani's in it. Chipa Chung, Sinead Cusack. It was really enjoyable. You know, it wasn't a wow, brilliant, can't believe it didn't get more than one series, but it was an enjoyable series. I enjoyed watching it. Camelot. This is Niagara Motel. Reason for purchase was Anna Friel. So it's based in the Niagara Motel, which is a motel at the Niagara Falls, and the characters living in it, and the stories of their lives, and you know what's going on, and that sort of film, you know, where it's a tale of intersecting characters, and I really enjoyed it. Niagara Motel. This is the St. Trinian's reboot, the first one, which I really enjoyed. Magnificent cast from the established people like Colin Firth and Rupert Everett, and even Russell Brand, and Lena Headey's in it. Two of the girls, it's introduced a lot of young talent. Gemma Arterton, Tamsin Edgerton, who I've just mentioned, of course, Tallulah Riley, Paloma Faith, Juno Temple. Just really good. It's just enjoyable fun, much like the originals, and yeah, a film I can watch many times. This is Angels and Insects, early 90s, mid 95, period drama starring Mark Rylance, Kristen Scott Thomas and Patsy Kensit, as you can see. So Mark Rylance marries Patsy Kensit, but he's a scientisty type bloke, studies angels and insects, entomologist, would that be right? Well, insects anyway. Doesn't study angels, what am I talking? Studies insects, which I think is an entomologist. But while Patsy Kensit is the woman of his dreams and he marries her, he actually falls in love with his assistant, played by Kristen Scott Thomas. And it's the story of that. But yeah, it's a good fun's not the word, it's a good enjoyable film. This is fun. This is The Mask, the Jim Carrey vehicle, which introduced Cameron Diaz to the film world. I'm sure most of you have seen this. I'm sure you know how good it is. Spice World, the movie. Obviously, Spice Girls vehicle. I really like this film. For what it is, it's just really good. It's a sort of film that doesn't get made very often. It's just silly vehicle to publicise a pop group. But it's probably one of the best ones there are. And I really like the Spice Girls. I'm going to see them live later this year. So that's Spice World the movie. This is Freight. My reason for purchase on this was that it stars Laura Aikman, who I'm a fan of, and her brother Luke, but Laura was my reason. It's about human trafficking, set in London, sort of, you know, I was going to say mob, but not in London, but underworld, dodgy, criminally type people. It was alright. It wasn't a wow film. I can't remember much about it, you know, it didn't leave a lasting impression, but it was alright. This is The Mask of Zorro. So this is the first of the Zorro films. Of the, you know, the, obviously not the years ago Zorro films, but of the Antonio Banderas ones. Which there was only 2 of anyway, so... but yeah, this is just a really, really good film, directed by Martin Campbell, Tony Hopkins and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Again, a film you've probably all seen, but if you haven't, you should really. It's just a fun, sort of in the vein of, style-wise, Indiana Jones and National Treasure films and that sort of rompy, action-y, adventure-y type film. Yeah, really good. This is Man on the Moon. Probably between this and Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, Jim Carrey's best performance in a straighter role, certainly. Although this is a funny film because it's a story of Andy Kaufman, the mysterious American comedian who came to fame in the late 70s, early 80s, and then died, but did he? Yes, he probably did, but there is a theory that he faked his own death as part of his act, if you like. But yeah, just wonderful. A wonderful performance, supported by Danny DeVito and Courtney Love and Paul Giamatti. Milos Forman directed it, which should show you how good a film it is. But yes, that's Man on the Moon. This is a American import, or Canadian import, yes. This is Men, starring Sean Young, which is why I bought it. It's basically sort of a relationship-y type drama-y thing, but she's a woman who has... her attitude to sex is very similar to that of men. In a, you know... I'm generalising here, obviously, as the film is, but in a shag anything that moves kind of way. It was alright, it wasn't great, but Sean Young's always watchable. And I think it was cheap as well. This is Outcast. This is a British horror, it's actually a Scottish horror, and my reason for getting this is because Karen Gillan's in it. But also stars James Nesbitt and Kate Dickie and Kieran McMiniman from Primeval, and James Cosmo's in it because he's got to be in every Scottish film. It's the law. I think that's the only way they get money to fund them, is if they put James Cosmo in them. But yes, it's a set in a sort of housing estatey type tenement block. Might be the phrase they use in Scotland, and something's killing people, and I won't go into too much more detail, but it's quite a good example of a genre. It's a classic, Never Ending Story. Saw this in the cinema back in 83, 4. Again, a film I would hope you're all familiar with, based on the novel. I'm not going to explain it because hopefully you've all seen it and it's a bit complicated, but it's just a wonderful, wonderful film. This is Natural Born Killers, Oliver Stone's controversial film. The director's cut of it on here. This is a US import because I got this before it was in cinemas over here because it was banned for a long time because there was talk that it was responsible for influencing some murderers in France, I want to say. Based on Quentin Tarantino's script, but deviates quite significantly from it. Woody Harrelson and Juliette Lewis are Mickey and something Mallory. Or Mickey and Mallory. Oh, I can't remember the character names. What? Sasha's helping. And they go on a killing spree, and just really good film. Oliver Stone's one of my favourite directors anyway. Quentin Tarantino I adore, and Juliette Lewis I adore, so it's a great combination for me. And finally for this part, this is the guitar. Based on a true story apparently, but it's quite a slow moving drama when Saffron Burrows' character finds out she's got cancer, so terminal cancer, so she decides to live her life how she wants to for her remaining time. So she sets herself up on her own. She leaves her boyfriend in an apartment where she just hangs around and befriends a couple of people. It's a really beautiful film, really well shot, really well acted. I am stroking a cat here, that's why my hand's going like this. It's not a barrel of laughs, but it's a good film. So yeah, that's it for this part. As usual, like, comment, subscribe, all that sort of stuff, and I'll see you on another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.